Well, I know we're at the end of January now, but this is some real what your mama never told you type stuff that I want to share with everybody in 2024. And it is like so seriously, I cannot express how imperative it is that we go forward knowing this, particularly for all of the nieces out there, because women are portals to the spiritual world. As we give life, and our wombs are sacred portals for life, and I think that maybe in Western society we've gotten beside the sacredness of a woman and how important we are to bringing spiritual life. And that's why it's much more important that we do protect our energy. And by protecting our energy, I don't mean just increasing your block list. I mean, like, really setting boundaries for yourself, really keeping your mental stamina and your spiritual stamina up, and really just making mindful decisions. Because when you have so much power, it's up to you to have great responsibility over that power. Not just, having great responsibility in who we sleep with, but I mean, like, you need to be that much more cautious of the people that you're around, the type of information you absorb, the people you sleep with. These are all things that are going to affect your being and your generation after you, your children's being. You determine that, not your future spouse will help, but you are the biggest factor in knowing that your generation is going to have a better life because of your decisions. You can have a daddy with the most perfect genes, and you as the mother who's carrying that child, is going to be you who that child is feeding off of, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, up until that child is brought into the physical realm through your womb. So it's like, I don't know what's popped off in me for me to have such a awakening to this knowledge, but I had to share this with you all, which is another one of the things, I think, just because of where I'm in life and what I've experienced recently, is just knowing that in 2024, my boundaries are going up, and I'm literally not taking less. And I know that because I am a child of God, and because I am in a power position, like, God is putting me in places where I have to be a decision maker now. And it's so hard. It's so stressful. I get emotional about it because I'm a supporter. Like, I'm only used to moving in leadership positions when I'm the only person I'm leading. And God is like, no. No. You need to know how to make decisions for everybody and see how that feels. And because if you're going to be, and I think this is what he's saying to me, and I really have to be sensitive about that, because I'm talking about my God here. Our relationship is our relationship. I don't want to share that with everybody, but I believe that where I'm at in the spiritual journey is the reason why he's been putting me in certain places, even though it's been so uncomfortable for me, so stressful for me, is because he is preparing me for all the things that I said I wanted. And if what I said I wanted was like being a wife or being a mother, I would head a household. I will spearhead the generations to come after me. And because of my background and my childhood, I think I'm being tested more, because I have so much damage to recalibrate in a new world for my next generation. So I need to know what it's like to make real decisions that affect people. I need to know what it's like to have stress, be under real stress and be under real pressure, and yet still have patience and composure and not act emotionally all the time and think in terms of legacy and future instead of short term. So I think that's one of the main lessons that I'm personally learning right now. And that's why one of those things on this spiritual journey for what we're not doing in 2024, nieces and nephews, is deal with people who do not have spirituality. I know that's a hell of an intro to get to this point that I'm talking about right here. Because I'll say something about my background. Personally, I know I have some real, I have some people that are more on the sanctified side of things, of Christianity. And I have people who are on the Catholicism side of things and even Voodooism side of things. So I've been very, very familiar with multiple forms of spirituality. And in fact, I've dabbled in multiple forms of spirituality. And someone that's a believer, I have to say that. I have to be transparent with that for the people who are receiving this message, because you're supposed to receive this message right now. Why I think I had to go into that large intro about how important it is as a woman to maintain your spirituality. When you are somebody who is responsible for generations to come, it is that much more sensitive on your behalf to be mindful of your own spirituality and the things that you do to protect yourself, because by protecting yourself, you're protecting your future generations and the things to come for you. And if you are dealing with people in a romantic relationship who have no spirituality, and I know that what I believe in, and I know there are women who are of other religions that are watching this. This is not a conversion video. This is not me saying turn to one way, it is the only way. I am saying this even to those women that it is so important for you to stay in your spiritual practices, because when you deal with people who do not have any beliefs, I don't care if you pray to Allah, Yahweh, Yeshua, Jesus, Buddha, you pray to Oshun, Yemaya, you have a spiritual practice. You have something that you speak into the world and you do rituals for, and it says in the Bible that I follow, ye are gods. We all have, pardon my Chicago sirens outside. We all as humans have these supernatural powers to manifest and to speak life. As a child of God, if you believe that you are, of the flesh of God, you know that you have these powers. You know that the same way God spoke the world, you let there be light. That's the same way that we have those powers to speak life. The power of the tongue is in life and death. So people who have spiritual practices, they wake up and they say, thank you, Jesus. I practice gratitude. They say, praise be to Allah, or whatever else they say. These people are speaking protection. They are speaking life and manifestations into the world. They are praying for the girls that are praying for protection and praying for things to happen. Things are happening for them, whether they see them or not, because they're speaking it. They're using their divine power to create life. The same way the feminine can divinely develop a child, she can develop so much greatness in the world because she's a spiritual portal to the world directly. The man, not so much. So as a woman, I just feel like I have to share this message to y'all that this is not the year to be playing with people who do not have no spirituality. If you are a spiritual woman you believe in God, you believe in religion, and you stand on that, do not deal with people who do not. You asking him about his beliefs in life. You know you want to be married. You know you want to have kids. You know you want to go to church with your kids. And he doesn't have any type of church or any type of upbringing. He's talking about, he just believes in the universe, and, he can go and pray to the sun, and he doesn't pray to Ra. You know what I'm saying? He's not one of those people who has a specific non-religion that he's committed to. He just, he blows with the wind. He does not do any type of ritualistic practices that protect him or and can protect you, or can heal anybody, or can manifest anything positive. And I say this because it's dangerous to a spiritual person to deal with people who have no spirituality. Because a common thing that I have been seeing, particularly in these last few years, the pandemic has showed us all a variety of ups and downs. But I think that we're finally starting to see now the long-term effects projected afterwards. I think that what I've seen specifically spiritual wise, all the people who have no spirituality, they're not committed to any spirituality, they are more depressed than ever. They are more on drugs than ever, drunk than ever, higher than ever. And don't get me wrong, I like a little cocktail or whatever else, but it's not a need. These people are looking constantly for something higher than themselves to get them out of the physical realm, because it is not comfortable to them. They're not comfortable on the physical realm because it's as above, so below. You see what I'm saying? Like, things are happening that we are not seeing because we're in the physical, and they're affecting us because we're in the physical. And if you don't have any type of protection, any type of spirituality, any type of beliefs, and you're just wandering in the world unprotected, the darkness, the things on the spiritual side that are not good, you are more susceptible to be attracted to and to roll into. So how this affects a woman in a romantic relationship, if you are physically involved with a guy who, knowing you have spirituality, you have spiritual protection, people, your grandma prays for you every night, you pray for you every night, and you're getting involved with somebody with no protection. In the spiritual realm, your people are going to protect you. Your angels, your beliefs, your ancestors, they come and they protect you. And therefore, the people you're dealing with, they get a little bit of shield too. So, and what I've seen is people, once they stop dealing with me, even in non-romantic relationships, like, people always wind up coming back to me apologizing. People wind up having bad things happen to them. They feel cursed. They've asked me if I did voodoo on them. They thought I cursed them. No. I am a blessed person and I'm a protected person. So once you screw me over and I cut ties from you in the physical realm, you're back to what you deserved. You don't get any protection. But also, as a woman, if you are physically involved with people who have no physical protection, I mean, I don't mean, rubbers. I mean, if you're involved with people who have no spiritual protection, I'm not talking about rubbers. Spiritual protection on their life. They don't have any type of beliefs on their life. Whatever is going on with them spiritually and you spiritually, y'all start mingling up. And you're the one who, as the person who gets entered into, you're the person who the residue of that spirituality really sits with. And you are the person who, if they're depressed and you're their coping mechanism, you're their drug, you're carrying some of his depression. If they have addictions, you'll start carrying more addictive personality traits. Like some of those negative things, or even if you don't wind up carrying those things per se, you're going to start, it's going to be more than your pH balance that's off. You're going to have different moods. You're going to be wondering what's going on with you. Especially me, you know, I'm a really sensitive, spiritually sensitive girl and an empathic girl. And I just have come to this realization, like, you cannot keep dealing with people who do not have a similar background to you. Now is not the time to be doubling down in close relationships, not colleagues, not, you know, that's your, you know, passing by friend. I'm not saying you cannot be nice to people and talk to people, but now is not the time. 2024 is not the time to be dealing with people who do not have a belief system. I mean a belief system. If you believe that we are all cosmic farts and we're nothing and we're going to die nothing, this is not the time. If you are a spiritual woman, I don't care if you do Christianity, hoodoo, voodoo, Buddha, Islam, Jewish, whatever you're doing, this is not the time to deal with non-spiritual people in 2024, because whatever's going on in the cosmos is not done. This is not the time to be involved and mixing and mingling and trying to save the world in a way that Jesus has not done it. You need to be mindful of the company you keep spiritually as a woman, and definitely not let everything in your sacred space. And I know that as I get older, I'm knowing more and more about the sacredness of a woman, because I feel like society is doing such a great job of trying to mask our sexuality and make it way less spiritual than it is. And we're seeing the downsides of that. We're seeing that in the rates of single motherhood and in the abuse and the financial, economic poverty throughout society right now. It's on a downhill slide because the sacredness of a woman and the strength of a man is not being catapulted in society, which are very natural things in all religions, literally. So it's just really ironic where we are at times. And I had to give this, I don't really give too many spiritual messages on my channel or anything like that. And I really didn't intend on this to go that way. But today I was just like, I need to tell people to make sure that they're really protecting themselves spiritually this year, and to make sure that you work on your worthiness and your value this year. And I'm going to put a little bit more information on that as I go through my life journey. And, you know, this can relate to so many people, young, old. It's a genderless. This is a genderless message. But as a woman, I have to speak to women when I tell you specifically, you are a sacred portal. You cannot be dealing with everybody and anybody's energy. It is not what you are designed to do. There's a reason why men can reproduce until they die, and women have a certain age where they're best at producing, where women have only so many eggs, because we are supposed to be more limited in our interactions with people, because we're what's going to make the next generation. We're what births the next generation. So we need to step into our power in 24 and make sure that we are being more mindful of those sacred spaces. Your home is a sacred space. What goes in between your legs is a sacred space. This bubble right here for you is a sacred space. You need to be mindful of where you are, not need to be around everybody all the time. I am still learning this. I'm still dealing with fear of missing out, FOMO sometimes. Like, I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be at the bar. Even if I know I'll go to the bar and get club soda and lime. That energy is not what I need to be doing right now. I'm doing dry January. Something in me wants to cleanse my old patterns and my ways. Listen to your body, but listen to your spirit sometimes. And this video for me is part of me listening to my spirit. Like, I need to share this message with somebody out there that needs to know, you know, it's dangerous out here to deal with people who don't have spirituality, especially at this time in the world. Like, they're not protected, and they make you more vulnerable to things that you shouldn't have been vulnerable to because you are protected. That's the bottom line. So that was an earful right there, and I'm already knowing, but a necessary one. So I hope y'all like this segment of What Your Mama Never Told You, because I'm Bad Aunt BB. That's what I do. There is no community without the you and the I. So make sure that you giving me a thumbs up, you liking, you subscribing to the channel. Check me out on social media. I will be putting out a lot more fun content, as well as, you know, this spiritual development, mental development, personal development stuff that people need to know. But yeah, this is what we're not doing in 2024, is dealing with people who we are not even going to be equally yoked with. Tell them to hit you up when they got their yokes in a row. In the meantime, in between time, it's your girl Bad Aunt BB. We over now.